When first thought, submit spirit to form matter. Our celestial humanity arrives, awakening from the dream, an inception of our reality. So we live, we love, and then there is music. So we dance, we sing, we pray, we reflect. In the infinite in between, the now that was, faces dance in our dreams. Some familiar, some distant, cosmic composition. In the irrelevance of this time, we realize the patch of the random abstract, learning the lesson that the brotherhood of man is far more important than the ego of any individual. Imagination becomes the sound of thought, traveling at the speed of art. So we paint on the canvas of our ephemeral encounters, a masterpiece that lives in the eternity of a child's. Brother Abstract, how you doing, brother?
Good, man.
Yeah, so tell me, what has life offered you in the forms of art, and how did all that begin for you?
You said what has life offered me in forms of art?
And how did that all begin for you?
I would say it began as early as I can remember. I would say art. It just was to me, you know, and it never was a choice. Later on, once I began to drift away from art and go out into the world, it was a choice to go back to it. But as far as beginning with it, it never was really a choice, you know. So, yeah, and it just is what it is. You know, it's life to me. So, you know, when I wake up, I do art. When I go to sleep, I'm thinking about art. So, and creating in some form, whether it be visual art, you know, sonic art, you know, composing, designing, always creating something, and always listening to, you know, the universe, what I'm supposed to create, what I'm supposed to make, you know. You know, it's a constant listening. It's a constant, you know, responding to what to the answers to the question. You know, I ask the universe a question, and it's always responding. You know,
Like a call and response from the ethers, huh?
Yeah. When you ask the universe a question, you have to always be open to the answer it gives you, and it's going to lead you in certain paths that you wouldn't, you're not ready for, or you don't expect. You don't expect you have to be ready.
Okay.
You have to be ready for something. You have to be ready to accept what it
Ready to receive.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Ready to receive. So you as how has the sound art affected your visual art, or have they affected one another, or do you still keep them separate?
Right. The sound art is kind of the sound art leads down a different path, but it's kind of the same. When I try to separate them, it's all both are me creating it. So it's kind of like I'm creating a similar thing, even with sound and with visual. I try to create a similar thing, so they both lend to one another. They kind of both explain. One explains the other, but you can put them together, but they can be separate, but they can also work together. So to me, one can't explain the other to me, because I kind of understand them. I understand them both in similar but different ways. So you know.
Okay. And I know you're a family man. You got a wife and a beautiful child. As a family man and whatnot, how important and what is the significance of music or sound art and visual art as it relates to your understanding of what love is?
Well, I think I think it goes back to the kind of call and response thing that I was saying, or the receiving, because for us being creative, your art is kind of, for me, art was the first thing that, I love to do. So it really is my first love. So art and creation, and just like a woman or a child, it takes, you have to take care of it, nurture it, you have to grow it. You have to develop it. You can't neglect it. You can't neglect your woman. You can't neglect your child. So you have to. So art kind of helps you to. Art is, to me, is similar to loving a person. You have to continuously be working on it. Sometimes, some days it work for you. Some days, you're fighting with it. Some days it goes perfectly. So yeah. So that's kind of what it is. It's just another. It's just another thing.
Groom and grow.
Yeah.
And like groom and grow.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. That's interesting. What are some of your what is your philosophy on how to deal with how the world's been living lately with this effect of this pandemic and the social distancing, shelter in place, and living in this virtual reality we're living in now?
Well, it's kind of a, to me, it's for, I've always done my art in kind of seclusion anyway, so, and over the past few years is when like over the past 10 years is when I started to kind of get out with the art. When I first started out with art, it was mostly in seclusion. Then I started getting out more in being with people, with the art around people. So this current state, the pandemic and all of that, it's kind of taking that part away to where you can have your art around people and you can create around people. So that's kind of changed it, and it not in a good way. I don't think art needs to be around people. It needs to be in a space. So this pandemic kind of has, and I think with a lot of artists, it's what's the word for it? It's kind of
Ostracized.
Yeah,
That's what I was gonna ask next. Is like,
yeah.
do you think it's personalized or ostracized the artist, or a little bit of both?
Yeah, a little bit of both, because whereas we all create in seclusion, but we also need to bring our art before the people, and we need to be out amongst people, and we need to be, with people. We need to be touching people and talking to people. We don't need to be covered up and standing back and doing all of that, because, art as well as life is personable, and it's not living, it's not really living. So,
Right.
and so, this is not what life is. They say this is a new normal. Well, this ain't what it's supposed to be. This is no way to create. This is no way to live, because well, let's say for instance you do your music in seclusion. You have to bring it out amongst the people. You have to, create with others.
Yeah.
Without this stigma hanging over us. So,
And
whether it's
barriers.
a pandemic, whether it's a pandemic or a plandemic, I think it was designed to, stifle, to hurt. So, and that's what it's done. So.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you think are some resolutions to this new dynamic of living? I know it's not feasible and conducive to the esteem of the masses, but how does one adjust, adapt, improvise, and overcome?
We have to, we as black people, we've kind of adjusted to overcoming a lot of stuff. So we natural at overcoming and adjusting, and in spite of everything, we rise up against it. So I think something like this, I've seen us, we kind of carry on, because we used to it. We used to something happening, and everything changing in the blink of an eye. But like I said, not being amongst the people and not being able to create in space, where we get to feel the energy of other folk, because that's what it comes down to. You got to be in the space with the energy of others, to where they can absorb the art, and you can absorb the feelings, the love, the acceptance, even the rejection of the art that you're putting out there. Something, and this is really, like I said, I think it's stagnating, and it's really just it's not conducive to growth. So I think the sooner this can end, us as artists, we adjust to it, and we'll find ways to still create, but nothing can we replace being in person, and being amongst each other, so.
True indeed.
Yeah.
So, have you created anything during this time at all?
Oh yeah. I've never stopped creating. Most of it's visual, not much sound.
You've done some
but,
sound. You've done some sound.
Yeah, I've done enough sound to where I can, can just create off of that forever.
So
but
you want to play something now?
Just play it like it's already recorded,
or play something live,
Yeah.
Before you play that or get with your instrument, tell me about your unique style of playing string instruments. How did that develop, and what was conceptualized in your mind when you thought to play them that way? Some may see you play a guitar or electric guitar like an upright bass, but it's not as big, but you still play it like that. What was the thought dynamic that came up with that idea?
Well, that came from I had tried to play it, and the ways that was given. You kind of put the strap on and you hold it kind of horizontal. I had tried to play it that way for years, and nothing was working out for me. I wasn't producing anything. So that was another time where I just kind of listened to the universe, and to where it told me what to do, and I just kind of it told me to hold it upright and to play it that way. So, and it seemed like it was easier to me. It was easier than trying to play the horizontal way, or the standard way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was easy for me, and then things started happening more once I I started creating more, and creation started happening. Whereas before it wasn't coming, you know.
You ready? Is this something new? Or you gonna do
What's
it
that?
spontaneous? You gonna do spontaneous, or you gonna do something new?
Oh, you mean playing the instrument? We have to do that next interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you like most about music and art, sound art and visual art? What does
What
it
I
do
like
for you?
most.
Yeah, what does it do for you?
For me, it gives me, well, one, it gives me purpose. Two, it kind of defines who I am, and it goes back to creation, to where it gives me a meaning, you know. It lets me know why I'm here, you know. And I'm here to do that. So I'm here to create what it is that I create. So whether it be sound or whether it be visual, you know, that's what I'm here to do. So when I'm doing that, um, fulfilling my purpose.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you very much.
Oh yeah.
That